Jung's collective unconscious. Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious is one of the cornerstones of his analytical psychology. Unlike the personal unconscious, which consists of individual experiences and memories, the collective unconscious is a part of the unconscious mind shared among all human beings. This concept suggests that we are connected at a deeper, universal level, transcending our individual differences. Jung believed that within this shared unconscious reside archetypes, primordial images, and symbols that are common to all humanity. But what evidence supports this idea? Jung's exploration of the unconscious began early in his career, influenced by his work with Sigmund Freud and his own introspections. While Freud focused on the personal unconscious, filled with repressed memories and desires, Jung expanded this idea to include a collective layer. He proposed that the human psyche is structured in layers, with the deepest layer being the collective unconscious, a vast reservoir of shared experiences and knowledge inherited from our ancestors. This idea was revolutionary because it suggested that our minds are not isolated but interconnected, sharing a common foundation that transcends time and space. The collective unconscious, according to Jung, is composed of archetypes, universal primordial symbols, and themes that recur across different cultures and eras. These archetypes include figures like the hero, the mother, the shadow, and the wise old man. They appear in myths, dreams, and religious traditions worldwide, suggesting a common psychological foundation shared by all humanity. For example, the hero's journey, a narrative structure identified by Joseph Campbell, appears in stories from diverse cultures, from the ancient Greek myths of Hercules to modern tales like Star Wars. This recurrence suggests that these symbols are not learned, but are part of our inherent psychological makeup. Archetypes are not static images, but dynamic patterns of behavior and thought that influence our actions and perceptions. The hero archetype, for instance, represents the individual's quest for identity and self-realization. It manifests in various forms, from the warrior battling external foes to the artist struggling with internal conflicts. The mother archetype symbolizes fertility, nurturing, and protection, often depicted in figures like the Virgin Mary or Mother Earth. The shadow represents the darker aspects of the psyche, the parts of ourselves that we deny or repress. These archetypes shape our dreams, myths, and artistic expressions, guiding our development and helping us make sense of our experiences. But how did Jung arrive at this groundbreaking theory? Jung's journey into the collective unconscious began with his own dreams and visions, which he meticulously recorded in what became known as the Red Book. Through his self-analysis and work with patients, Jung noticed recurring themes and symbols that could not be explained by personal history alone. For example, he found that patients who had no knowledge of mythology would dream of motifs that closely resembled mythological symbols. These patterns led him to propose that there is a deeper layer of the unconscious mind shared by all humans. Jung's work with schizophrenic patients also provided crucial insights. He observed that their hallucinations often contained symbolic imagery that was remarkably similar to ancient myths and religious symbols. This suggested to Jung that these images were not random, but stemmed from a deeper layer of the psyche. His extensive study of alchemy, mythology, religion, and literature further reinforced his belief in the existence of a collective unconscious. By comparing the symbolic content of different cultures and epics, Jung identified common patterns that pointed to a shared psychological heritage. One of the key aspects of Jung's theory is the archetype. Archetypes are not memories or experiences themselves, but are predispositions to perceive and act in certain ways. For example, the hero archetype represents the quest for self-discovery and overcoming challenges. The mother archetype symbolizes nurturing and protection. These archetypes shape our perceptions, thoughts, and behaviors, influencing our dreams, myths, and artistic expressions. For instance, the recurring theme of the heroic journey from ancient myths to modern literature and films reflects the deep-rooted presence of the hero archetype in our psyche. Archetypes function as templates for human behavior, guiding our interactions with the world and each other. They influence our relationships, our aspirations, and our fears. The shadow, for example, embodies the aspects of ourselves that we deny or reject, such as aggression, selfishness, or jealousy. By confronting and integrating the shadow, we can achieve greater self-awareness and personal growth. The wise old man archetype represents wisdom, guidance, and insight, often appearing in dreams or fantasies as a mentor or teacher. By engaging with these archetypes, we can tap into the deeper layers of our psyche and access the collective wisdom of humanity. Jung proposed that these archetypes and symbols are inherited, forming a kind of psychic blueprint. This blueprint is not a result of personal experience but a universal inheritance, much like the genetic code. Just as all humans share certain biological traits, Jung argued, we also share these psychological patterns. Modern genetics has shown that while our DNA carries the information necessary for our biological development, there might also be a form of psychological inheritance that guides our mental and emotional growth. This idea is supported by the way certain fears, like the fear of snakes or heights, are almost universally present and can be linked to survival instincts inherited from our ancestors. Research in epigenetics has provided further support for Jung's theory. Epigenetics studies how environmental factors can influence gene expression and behavior, potentially passing on these changes to future generations. For example, studies have shown that trauma experienced by one generation can affect the stress responses of subsequent generations. This suggests that our psychological experiences can leave an imprint on our biological makeup, reinforcing the idea of a shared psychological inheritance. Additionally, cross-cultural studies have found remarkable similarities in how different societies interpret basic emotions, indicating that our emotional responses are deeply rooted in our shared human heritage. Modern psychology and neuroscience provide some intriguing insights that support Jung's observations. Studies on shared cultural symbols and themes indicate that certain patterns are indeed universal. For instance, research into the hero's journey, a narrative structure identified by Joseph Campbell, shows that this archetype appears in stories from different cultures and epochs, reinforcing the idea of a shared unconscious. Furthermore, neuroscientific studies have found that specific brain regions are activated when people engage with these archetypal themes, suggesting a neurological basis for the collective unconscious. Neuroscientists have discovered that certain brain structures, such as the limbic system, are involved in processing emotional and symbolic content. Functional MRI studies have shown that when individuals are exposed to archetypal images or narratives, specific areas of the brain light up, indicating a common neural response. These findings suggest that our brains are wired to recognize and respond to archetypal patterns, supporting Jung's idea of a universal psychological blueprint. Additionally, research in cognitive science has demonstrated that humans have an innate capacity for understanding complex narratives and symbolic meanings, further reinforcing the notion of a collective unconscious. Moreover, research into the human brain suggests that certain neural patterns may be universal, supporting the idea of a shared unconscious. Neuroscientists have found that certain emotional responses and cognitive processes are consistent across different cultures, pointing to underlying commonalities in our psychological makeup. For example, studies using functional MRI scans have shown that emotions such as fear, joy, and sadness activate similar brain regions in people from diverse cultural backgrounds, indicating a shared neurobiological foundation for these experiences. Further studies in developmental psychology have shown that children across cultures develop similar cognitive and emotional abilities at comparable stages, suggesting that these patterns are hardwired into our brains. For instance, the concept of the self emerges around the same age in children worldwide, reflecting a universal process of identity formation. These findings provide compelling evidence for Jung's theory that we all share a common psychological foundation shaped by both biological and cultural factors. Jung's theory of the collective unconscious also has significant implications for personal growth and therapy. By recognizing and integrating these archetypes, individuals can achieve greater self-awareness and psychological balance. Jungian therapy often involves exploring dreams, fantasies, and myths to uncover these deeper layers of the psyche. For instance, a person struggling with feelings of inadequacy might be guided to explore the hero archetype, identifying and confronting internal obstacles. Similarly, someone dealing with unresolved familial issues might work with the mother archetype to understand and heal these dynamics. In Jungian analysis, therapists help clients interpret their dreams and fantasies to reveal the archetypal themes at play. This process, known as active imagination, involves engaging with these symbols through dialogue, art, or creative writing. By bringing these unconscious patterns to the surface, individuals can gain insight into their motivations, fears, and desires. Integrating these insights leads to a more harmonious and balanced psyche, a process Jung called individuation. Individuation is the journey toward self-actualization, where one becomes aware of their true nature and potential, integrating all aspects of the self. Critics argue that Jung's theories are too abstract and lack empirical support. However, the enduring popularity of his ideas suggests that they resonate deeply with many people. The concept of the collective unconscious offers a powerful framework for understanding the human experience, even if it cannot be empirically verified in the traditional sense. While direct evidence of the collective unconscious remains elusive, the patterns observed in cultural studies, literature, and psychotherapy provide a compelling case for its existence. Despite the challenges in empirically validating the collective unconscious, the theory has influenced various fields, from anthropology to art. Scholars and practitioners continue to explore the implications of Jung's ideas, using them to interpret cultural phenomena and understand the human psyche. The recurring themes in myths, literature, and religious practices worldwide suggest that there is indeed a shared psychological foundation among all humans. This interconnectedness offers a sense of unity and commonality, highlighting our shared humanity and the collective wisdom we inherit. In conclusion, Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious proposes that we are all connected by a shared psychic heritage. This supermind, composed of archetypes and universal symbols, links us to each other and to the deeper mysteries of existence. While the scientific evidence for the collective unconscious is still emerging, the exploration of this concept continues to inspire and enlighten. The recurring themes and symbols across different cultures and historical periods suggest that there is indeed a shared psychological foundation among all humans. Jung's theory encourages us to look beyond our individual experiences and recognize the deeper connections that bind us together. By exploring the collective unconscious, we can gain insight into the universal aspects of the human experience, fostering empathy, understanding, and personal growth. The journey into the depths of the unconscious mind reveals a rich amount of symbols and patterns that connect us to our ancestors, our culture, and each other, offering a profound sense of unity and interconnectedness. So, are we all connected by a supermind? Jung's theory of the collective unconscious provides a compelling argument that we are. It suggests that beneath our individual experiences and cultural differences lies a deep universal connection that binds us together as a species. This connection, manifested through archetypes and shared symbols, forms the foundation of our collective human experience.